So, good morning, friends. Today we are going to discuss about shear force and bending moment diagrams for cantilevers. So, this cantilever, it is a beam which is fixed at one end, and it will be free at another end. So any beam which is fixed at one end and free at another end, it is called as cantilever. So now in this section, we are going to construct shear force and bending moment diagrams for different loads acting on a cantilever. So basically, as discussed in previous sessions, loads acting on the beam, generally they are classified into two categories, namely point load or concentrated load, and secondly, uniformly distributed load, which is called as UDL. So these are the, two types of loads. Generally, usually acting on cantilevers and simply supported beams. Now, as the name itself implies, if the entire load is concentrated at one particular point, it is called as point load or concentrated load. Similarly, if the load is distributed evenly or uniformly for the entire length of the beam or for a certain length of the beam, then it is called as uniformly distributed loads. And secondly, notations are very important. Capital W is used for indicating point loads acting on any beam. Similarly, small w has to be used for indicating UDLs acting on different beams. And finally, these point loads, generally they are expressed in terms of newtons or in terms of kilonewtons. Similarly, UDLs, they are expressed generally in terms of Newton per meter, also in terms of kilonewton per meter. So now we are going to prepare shear force and bending moment diagrams for point loads and UDLs acting on cantilever beams. So friends, we can see the in this slide we can see the arrangement of a cantilever, and here a point load is acting at the free end of the beam. So this is the figure which indicates a point load that is acting at the free end of the cantilever beam. Now, as informed just now, we can see the arrangement of the cantilever. So this is fixed at left end of the beam, and right end of the beam is kept in free position. So it's fixed at left end and it is free at right end. So therefore, it is called as a cantilever. Now, indication of points are very essential. So point A, capital A, point A is used for representing the fixed end of the beam, and point B used for representing the free end of the beam. And the length of the beam is given as capital L, but it is better to use small l for indicating the length of the beam. So this is the distance between the two ends of the beam, left end and right end. So distance between the two ends of the beam, so that is called as total length of the beam, or it is also called as span of the beam. And capital L or small l is used for representing this parameter. And naturally, the length of beam is expressed in terms of either in terms of meters or in terms of millimeters. So this is called as this is referred to as the total length of the beam. It's also called as total span, or simply it's also called as span of the beam. Now finally we can see a point load. So this is the way of representing a point load. So that is acting at the free end of the beam, and it is acting in downward direction, vertical direction. Firstly, acting in vertical direction, and also it is acting in downward direction. So arrow is shown in downward direction, and capital W, as indicated earlier, capital W is generally used, has to be used for indicating a point load that is acting on the top of the beam. So these are the, various parameters which we are supposed to remember while solving the problem for construction of SF and VM diagrams. Now, this is called as loading diagram. And the first diagram, it's called as a loading diagram, and the second diagram, that's called as shear force diagram. The last one, it is referred to as a bending moment diagram. So for this configuration, for the configuration given in the loading diagram, so we have to prepare equations, and we have to get the values of shear forces and bending moments, and using these values we have to construct shear force and bending moment diagrams. So naturally SF values are used for constructing a shear force diagram, and BM values are used for constructing bending moment diagram. And secondly, we can see these lines. So this is a line for the SF diagram, and here we have one more line for bending moment diagram. So they are called as baselines of the diagrams. So this is the baseline for shear force diagram, and this is the baseline for bending moment diagram. And if the values of shear forces are positive, so the lines will be coming, the values will be coming above the shear force diagram. And if the values of bending moment are negative, so therefore this line is coming below the baseline. So friends, if the values of shear forces are positive, the diagram will be coming above the baseline. And if the values are negative, generally the diagram will be coming below the baseline. Now for this configuration, all the shear forces will be positive. So therefore the diagram is coming above the baseline of what you call SF diagram. And similarly, all the bending moment values, all the values of bending moment will be negative. So therefore, this diagram will be coming, is coming below the baseline of the bending moment diagram. So friends, all the positive values, whether it is a shear force diagram or a bending moment diagram, all the positive values must be indicated above the baseline of the diagram. All the negative values must be indicated below the baseline of the diagram. So these are the rules to be followed while constructing shear force as well as bending moment diagrams. So positive values will be coming above the baseline, and the negative values will be coming below the baseline. So baseline is very essential for shear force and bending moment diagrams. So this line is representing the baseline of shear force diagram, and this is representing the baseline of bending moment diagram. So these are the rules to be followed while constructing shear force and bending moment diagrams. Now friends, for writing equation, we have to consider a section, a vertical section that's called as XX. So a vertical section has to be considered at a distance of X meter from the free end of the beam. So while making calculations, we'll be starting at the right end of the beam, we'll be proceeding in a reverse direction, and ultimately we will be reaching the left end of the beam. So this is the procedure to be followed for preparing the equations. ultimately for getting the results. So considering a section XX at a distance of x meter from the free end of the beam, that is very essential for preparing shear force and bending moment diagrams. Now, after taking this section, we have to consider all the loads acting on the right side of the section. Now, friends, here only one load is acting on the right side of this section. So, therefore, shear force is written as capital W, and this is acting in downward direction. So, therefore, it is written as plus capital W. So, downward forces, positive symbol must be allotted in the case of downward forces, and negative symbol must be allotted in the case of upward forces. So this force is acting in downward direction. So therefore, plus symbol has to be used after preparing the SF equation. Now, similarly, now when the load is acting in downward direction, the beam will have a tendency to move in clockwise direction. So therefore, negative symbol must be allotted for indicating clockwise movements, and positive symbol must be used for indicating anti-clockwise movements. Now, because of this downward force, the beam has a tendency to move in clockwise direction. So it is a clockwise movement. So therefore, negative symbol must be allotted to this particular value. And secondly, the moment is obtained by taking the product of force and perpendicular distance. So this is the force acting on the beam and this is the perpendicular distance. It is taken as x meter. So force into perpendicular distance will give us the value of bending moment. So it is written as capital W into small x. Now it is resulting in clockwise movement. So therefore it is written as minus Wx, minus Wx. So friends, value of SF will be equivalent to plus W, and the value of bending moment will be, value of shear force will be equivalent to plus W, and the value of bending moment will be equivalent to minus Wx. So this is the way of framing shear force and bending moment equations. Now after that we have to take the limits for x value. So this point B is taken as a lower limit and point A is taken as upper limit. Of course, midpoint can be also, considered. Point C can be taken as a middle point, middle limit of these values. So at x, this is the point where x is equivalent to 0, and this is the point where x will be equivalent to small l or capital L. And point C, this is the point where x value will be equivalent to L by 2. So this is the way of fixing limits for values, for x values. Now at x is equivalent to 0, you find out the value of SF, and bending moment. And x is equivalent to L by 2, you find out the values of SF and BM. And x is equivalent to L, you find out these values. And using these three values, we can very easily construct shear force and bending moment diagrams. So to take the values of shear force, you construct shear force diagram. Take the values of bending moment, you construct bending moment diagram. So all the positive values will be coming above the baseline of these diagrams. All the negative values will be coming below the baselines of these diagrams. So friends, these are the basic rules to be followed while preparing the SF and VM diagrams, and also while constructing these shear force and bending moment diagrams. So rules to be followed for preparing SF and VM equations, and rules to be followed for construction of SF and VM diagrams. So friends, we have already discussed, so we can make a note of SF equations. So capital W for indicating the point load acting at the free end of the beam, that is expressed in terms of newtons, and small l for indicating the total length of the beam, that is AB. So it is called as a span of the beam, and it is expressed in meters. And as discussed just now, we have to consider a vertical distance xx at a distance of x meter from the free end of the beam. And after that, we have to consider all the forces acting on the right hand side of the section. So only one force is acting. So therefore, SF is written as capital W. So this force is acting in downward direction. So plus symbol must be allotted for this value. So SF, it is given as plus W. Now this equation is totally independent of x variable. So therefore, at x is equal to 0, SF will be equivalent to plus W. At x is equivalent to L by 2, that is middle at x. At x is equivalent to L by 2, also SF will be equivalent to plus W. And at x is equivalent to L, also the SF value will be equivalent to plus W. So this value is not changing, it is independent of this x variable. So this will be, therefore, it will be equal to plus W at free end of the beam, plus W at middle of the beam, at the center of the beam. Also, it will be equivalent to plus W at the fixed end of the. So framing the equations and fixing the limits and substituting the limits of x in the equation, very, very essential for getting x values at different points. So we could find out the x values, SF values at different points. So using these values, we can actually prepare a construct SF diagram. So only point load is given in this example. So straight lines must be used for indicating point loads at SF diagram. All these values are positive. So therefore, this all these values will be coming above the baseline of shear force diagram. So this is what we have seen in this particular figure. So at x is equivalent to 0, I mean SF is equivalent to plus W. L by 2 also it is equivalent to plus W, and at x is equivalent to L at this point also it is obtained as plus W. So we have to use the straight lines in the case of point loads. So all the values are positive. So plus symbol is marked in this diagram, except for shear force diagram, and the plus symbol is marked inside the diagram. So at all the points, the value of shear force will be equivalent to plus W. So these are the positive values. So therefore, all these values are coming above the baseline of the shear force. So friends, this is the way of writing SF equations, and finally preparing, constructing SF diagrams. Now, similarly, the bending moment will be equal to minus Wx. So downward force is acting in downward direction, so it will result in clockwise moment. Negative symbol must be allotted for clockwise moment, so therefore minus is written, is taken for this value. And the force is equal to capital W, perpendicular distance is equal to small x, as discussed in the first slide. So therefore, bending moment, it is written as minus of capital W into x. So minus symbol is indicating, clockwise moment. So therefore, bending moment, it is written as minus Wx. Now, as usual, we have to fix the limits for x values. X is equivalent to 0, x is equivalent to L by 2, x is equivalent to small l. So this is the lower limit of x and this is the upper limit of x. Now, if you substitute these values of x, if you substitute these x values in this particular equation, we will be getting bending moment values at different points. So if x is equivalent to 0, then bending moment will be equivalent to 0. X is equivalent to L by 2, it will be equivalent to minus WL by 2. X is equivalent to L, again it will be equivalent to minus WL. So first value is 0, second value is minus WL by 2, third value is minus WL. So friends, we are getting bending moment values at different points. So framing the equation is very, very important. Fixing the limits is very, very important, as done in the previous slide for shear force calculation. And substituting limits of x limits in this equation, that's very, very essential for getting bending moment values at different points. We have substituted all these limits in this equation for getting the values at different points. Now, using these values, it is very easy to prepare a bending moment diagram. So this is called as construction of bending moment diagram. Now friends, all these values are negative. This is 0 and this is negative and this is negative. So therefore, these values will be coming below the baseline of the bending moment diagram. And we are talking about, in this topic, we are talking about point loads acting on the beam. So in the case of point loads, inclined lines are used for preparing the bending moment diagram. So these values again are shown in this figure. So at this point, we got the value of bending moment as 0, and at midpoint it is minus WL by 2. And finally, at the fixed end of the beam, at this point of the beam, so we got the value as, minus WL. So minus is already written inside the diagram, so no need of writing minus sign. So better to write it as minus WL. So all the values are negative, so therefore minus symbol is written inside the diagram, and BM is also written inside the diagram. So this is for representing the bending moment diagram. So friends, we got all positive values in the case of shear forces. So therefore, these values are plotted above the baseline of shear force diagram. And we got all, negative values in the case of, bending moment values. We got all values as negative. So all these values are coming below the baseline of bending moment diagram. So in any case, you are getting positive values, all the positive values, whether it is SF diagram or BM diagram, all the positive values must be plotted above the baseline of the diagram. All the negative values must be plotted below the baseline of the diagram. So we made the calculations. So those are the calculations pertaining to this particular configuration, particular problem. So take the values of SF, very easily we can prepare SF diagram, and you take the values of bending moments, and we can prepare, we can do the construction of bending moment diagram. So friends, this is about a point load that is acting at the free end of the cantilever beam. This is about the construction. This is about the preparation of SF and BM equations. And this is about the construction of SF and BM diagrams. So far as the case of point load that is acting at the free end of the beam. So preparation of equations and construction of diagrams, so very, very essential in all these cases. So friends, here we have to talk about the cantilever where an UDL is acting for the entire length of the beam. So we can see the arrangement of the cantilever. So this is fixed at a point A, that is fixed end of the beam, and this is free in position point B. So it is free end of the beam, and we can see the UDL that is acting for the entire length of the beam. So small w for indicating the value of UDL, it is expressed in Newton per meter. And this small l or capital L can be used for indicating the total length of the beam. And similarly, in any case, we have to consider a vertical section XX as shown in the figure at a distance of x meter from free end of the beam or from the right end of the beam. And after that, we have to consider all the forces, present on the right hand side of the section. And this will be useful for preparation of SF and BM equations. And of course, fixing limits is also very, very, important. So lower limit of x, as usual, it can be taken as 0, and upper limit of x, we are measuring this distance from point B, so upper limit can be, of x can be taken as a small l. So substituting these limits in the equation, we can very easily find out shear force and bending moment values at different points, and take the shear force values and prepare a diagram. We get a shear force diagram. Take the values of bending moments. Very easily we can construct a bending moment diagram. So in general, so these are the rules to be followed. And as usual, if you are getting positive values, it has to be constructed above the baseline. If you are getting the negative values, will be coming below the baseline of the diagram. So this is the baseline of SF diagram. This is the baseline of bending moment diagram. So positive values will be coming above the baseline of shear force diagram. And negative values will be coming below the baseline of the diagram. And finally, as I've already told you, we are considering a section XX at a distance of X meter from free end of the beam, and we have to take all the forces acting on the right hand side of the section. So UDL is acting only, in this case only one UDL is acting on the right hand side of the section. So it is acting for a distance of X meter. So it has to be converted into a point load. So it is written as a WX. So therefore the force value will be equivalent to WX, and this is acting in downward direction. So therefore SF value, SF equation, that is written as plus WX. So this is the way of writing SF equations. And secondly, coming to the bending moment, so shear force is equivalent to WX. This will be acting, this has to be taken at the midpoint of this distance, that is X by 2. So therefore, bending moment is written as WX into X by 2. And this is resulting, this downward force is resulting in clockwise movement. So therefore, negative symbol must be allotted for this value. So therefore, it is written as minus WX into X by 2. So ultimately, it is written as minus WX square by 2. So friends, all this information is given in the coming slides. So whatever may be the case, considering a section is very, very important at a distance of X meter from the right end of the beam. So this is what we have done in the previous case also. In any case, we have to follow this procedure to consider a section at X meter from free end or right end of the beam. Take all the forces present on the right hand side of the section and prepare shear force equations, prepare bending moment equations. Forces are acting in downward direction. Take it as a positive value. Forces are acting in upward direction. Take it as a negative value. Similarly, in the case of clockwise movements, you take it as a negative value. In the case of anti-clockwise movements, it has to be taken as a positive value. And finally, you go for fixing of limits for X values and substitute the limits in main equations. We get all the values of shear forces and bending moments, and taking those values very easily, we can prepare these diagrams. To take all the SF values, we can prepare SF diagram. To take all BM values, we can prepare bending moment diagram. So if values are positive, they will be coming above the baseline of the diagram, and negative values will be coming below the baseline of the diagram. So this is the way of writing SF and BM equations, and this is the way of constructing SF and BM diagrams. So friends, all these things, just now we have talked about all these aspects. Small w for indicating UDL for the entire length of the beam, and a small l for indicating the length of the beam. And as usual, we are considering a vertical section at a distance of x meter from the free end of the beam or from the right end of the beam, and we are taking all the forces present on the right hand side of the section. So here in our case, UDL is acting for a distance of x meter. So if it is acting for a distance of L meter, it will be WL, and we are taking only, we are considering this force only for a distance of small x meter only. So therefore, it is written as WX, and plus symbol is allotted because force is acting in downward direction. We are allocating plus symbol for this particular value. So friends, SF is written as plus WX. Now we are fixing three limits. This is the lower limit, this is the middle limit, and this is the upper limit. The lower limit is fixed as 0, middle limit as L by 2, and upper limit as L meters. So you substitute all these values in the equation. So naturally, we'll be getting SF values at different points. At x is equivalent to 0, it will be coming to 0. At x is equivalent to L by 2, it will be coming to WL by 2. And at x is equivalent to L, it will be coming to WL. So friends, framing the equation is very considering the section, very important. Framing the equation, fixing the limits of x values, substituting the limits of x values in the equation. These things are very essential for getting SF values at different points. So at first point we got it as 0, at second point we got it as WL by 2, at third point we got it as WL. So we take all these values, we can easily prepare SF diagram. So all the values are positive. So these values will be coming above the baseline of SF diagram as mentioned as last point. And this is UDL that is acting on the beam. So therefore, inclined line is used for UDL. Inclined line is used for UDL while preparing SF diagrams. So friends, we can see this figure. It is at this point, at x is equivalent to 0, we got it as 0. And x is equivalent to L by 2, we got it as plus WL by 2. And x is equivalent to L, we got it as WL. So join all these points by means of an inclined line. So you'll be getting an inclined line in this fashion. So whenever there is an UDL, we'll be getting inclined lines on SF diagram. And at the same time, we'll be getting parabolas in the case of bending moment diagram. So friends, we have talked about all these things, and these things are incorporated in SF diagrams. Now let us talk about this bending moment equations. So shear force we have written. We have written in the previous slide, we have written the value of shear force as Wx. So it is getting converted into point load that will be acting at a midpoint of distance x meter. So therefore, that bending moment is obtained by multiplying these two values. So Wx is the force and x by 2 is the perpendicular distance from section xx. So therefore, it is written as Wx into x by 2, and this UDL is acting in downward direction, so therefore it is resulting in clockwise movement. So negative symbol must be allotted for clockwise movement. So therefore it is written as minus Wx into x by 2. So ultimately it is written as minus Wx square by 2. So friends, using these fundamentals, we are in a position to frame this bending moment equation. As usual, fix the limits of x values. Lower limit as 0 and upper limit as L meter, and the middle limit can be also chosen. It can be taken as L by 2 meters. All these things are measured from right end of the beam. So if you put the value, you take the value of x as 0 in this equation, it is obtained as 0. And if it is L by 2, you take this value, we will be getting the second value of bending moment. And take the upper limit, you will be getting the final value of bending moment. So friends, framing the equations, considering the section, and taking all the forces acting at the right hand side of the section, framing the equation, fixing the limits, and substituting the limits in the equation. So very, very essential for getting the values of bending moment. So we have framed the equation, we have fixed the limits of x values, we have substituted these limits in this equation, are getting different values of bending moment. So now taking all these values very easily, we can prepare the EM diagram. So that is called as construction of bending moment diagram. So we are getting negative values. This is 0 and this is a negative value. This is also a negative value. So all the values, so far as our case, present case is concerned, all the values of bending moment are negative. So therefore, all the values will be coming below the baseline of bending moment diagram. And now this UDL is acting on the cantilever. So therefore, this diagram must be prepared in the form of a parabola. So negative values, we are getting negative values. So therefore, these values will be coming below the baseline of the bending moment diagram. And the shape of the diagram, because of UDL, the shape of the diagram must be taken in the form of parabola. So friends, we can see this, you can observe the diagram. So after making these calculations only, unless you make these calculations, you cannot prepare this diagram. So at x is equivalent to 0, we got it as 0. So you are marking here. And x is equivalent to L by 2, we got it as minus WL square by 8. So that is at L by 2, it will be equivalent to, this is the distance, that is minus WL square by 8. And at x is equivalent to L meter from the free end, we got it as small w L square by 2 minus small w L square by 2. So this distance will be representing the value. So we got three values, but all these values should be joined by means of a curve, by means of a parabola. So this is this is called as a parabola. It is not shown properly in the figure. So we have to put an arrow and it has to be written as a parabola. So friends, we got all the values of SF as positive. So therefore, all the values are plotted above the baseline of shear force diagram. And we got all the bending moment values as negative. So all the values are plotted below the baseline of bending moment diagram. So plus symbol is written inside the SF diagram. So indicating all the positive values of SF, and minus symbol, it is written inside the bending moment diagram. So we got all the bending moment values, all the values as negative values. So therefore minus symbol is written inside the bending moment diagram. So friends, this is the way of preparing this, which is the way of constructing shear force and bending moment diagrams in different situations. Framing equations is very, very important. Firstly, consideration of vertical section at a distance of x meter from free end or right end of the beam, that is important. The framing of equations is important. Fixing of limits is important. Substituting limit values in those equations important for getting the values. The values are very, very important ultimately for construction of SF and BM diagrams. SF values essential for constructing, obviously, for constructing SF diagrams. BM values essential for constructing BM diagrams. So friends, lastly, positive values will be plotted above the diagrams except for BM. In any case, positive values will be plotted above the baseline of diagrams. And negative values to be plotted below baselines of diagrams. So this way we could prepare SF and BM diagrams. Or firstly, we have prepared SF and BM diagrams for a point load that is acting on the cantilever at the free end of the cantilever. Secondly, we have prepared SF and BM diagrams for an UDL that is acting on the cantilever. A UDL that is acting for the entire, length of the cantilever. So friends, these are the basic things. So if you are thorough with the fundamentals and these basic things, definitely you will not be going wrong while preparing equations and while constructing this all these diagrams. So secondly, we have a problem I would like to discuss in the next session. Now, thank you so much, friends, for joining this session. So thank you very much. Thank you.